Hello students, welcome to Disha. We are powered by the Sharat Chandra IAS Academy. So in today's video, we'll be talking about the vaccine-derived polio. So we all know about polio. What is polio? It is a wasting of or stunting of the legs and limbs caused by the polio virus. It is observed in younger children, and for fighting with this polio or for preventing the polio from happening, we use the polio vaccine or oral polio vaccine. Okay. So now India has almost gotten rid of the polio by now. But what we saw in a recent case in Meghalaya, what we saw in a recent case in Meghalaya, let me just make a quick map. So we saw a 2-year-old child, just a 2-year-old child. Now please focus on the age. Okay, it also tells us when is a safe age to give the OPV, oral polio vaccine. So what was observed in a 2-year-old child that he or she was infected with the vaccine derived polio. Now, what is this vaccine derived polio? Okay, first of all, he was, let's say, diagnosed with the acute flaccid paralysis. Acute flaccid paralysis. Paralysis means that inability to move the limbs or inability to control the central nervous system. In Assam, okay, it was brought to Assam, he or she was brought to Assam. This infection was not caused by the wild polio virus but from a vaccine derived strain. Okay, now you remember having tasted the OPV. Alright, it comes in a very small bottle like this and 2 drops are given to each child. Okay, now what we have in this vial, what we have in this vial is the OPV. And what is this OPV? Okay, so that is important for us. So let us see what is this OPV. How can it, let's say, affect a low immunity person with the polio itself? Alright, so OPV contains a live and attenuated virus. Attenuated virus. So the vaccine itself has the live virus, but it is attenuated. Alright, that means it is weakened. That means it is weakened. So it would not affect you. It would not affect you, but produce an immune response in the body. But produce an immune response in the body. Now, if your immunity is all right, then what will happen? Let's say this is your body, this is going all right, okay, all right. Now the virus enters, the weakened live attenuated virus enters, your immunity rises. All right, rises and learns how to fight with the OPV and it comes back to this eventually. Now it has learnt, it has a memory. So whenever the polio virus will come again in your body by any means, then it will have a quick reaction and it will finish the virus. So you will not suffer from the polio, symptoms will not be seen. The virus will end. But what happens in the case of a low immunity person? In low immunity person, it regains its strength. The virus regains its strength because the initial immunity itself is not enough to produce a quick response or a response at all. All right, so it mutates, regains its strength, and then develops symptoms. Then develops symptoms. And what are the symptoms? Such as paralysis of limbs. Paralysis of limbs. Okay, so this is very rare condition but very harmful. One more thing we must remember that how polio virus is transmitted. It is transmitted by the, I'm making a simple drawing. Alright, let's say this person is dropping feces and now there is a water runoff. Alright, there is a water runoff. Now this water somehow mixes with the potable drinking water in future. Alright, and it eventually comes to the tap. Alright, the second person drinks this water thinking it is alright to drink it. Alright, but what happens? The oral polio virus OPV comes into his contact and then affects him. It is mostly found in the children of young age. So it causes the paralysis of limbs mostly. Paralysis and weakness of the limbs. Now what we see that who discovered this vaccine? Then it was discovered by the Jonas Salk. Or Jonas Salk. It is also known as the Salk polio virus because of this. He developed an IPV, inactivated poliovirus vaccine, in 1950. In 1950. Later on, there was a better vaccine developed by the Albert Sabin. Albert Sabin. So he developed OPV, oral polio vaccine. Okay, he used a live attenuated virus, and it was easier to administrate because it was oral. Just open the mouth and drop 2 drops. Okay. Now, what is the situation of the polio in the world? The situation of the polio in the world, and has it been eradicated completely? So WHO declared the WPV3, WPV3, it's a strain of the polio virus, eradicated in 2019. Okay, there are 3 strains of the polio virus. There was a WPV2 also. So it was declared eradicated in 2015. 90% of the polio cases are caused by the WPV2. All right. And what is the situation in India? What is the situation in India? Just a second. So in India, there are very few cases of polio observed now. Very few cases of polio observed now, and in India, it is declared eradicated. After huge efforts, and you must have seen the advertisement with Amitabh Bachchan, Do Boon Zindagi Ki, 2 drops of life. So after this campaign, polio was widely eradicated from India, but we need to be very careful about these mutations and the retroturbulence viruses. Okay, so this can also be used in various different examinations and answer writing. This we'll deal with later in some other lecture. Thank you very much. Yatharth here signing off. See you in the next lecture. If you have any feedback or any comments, you can let me know in the comment section. I'll be very happy to help you. Thank you.